Hello friends, this is going to be a course called FrontDev101. This is a novice to intermediate course, so if you're really new to HTML, CSS, and web development, I would suggest using other tutorials to get yourself familiar with the terminology and at least understand how to write code. So this course is for people that already know how to write code, but we don't know where to start, don't know how to put together an actual website. Okay, so we are going to be coding offline. We won't need internet connection, but you will need internet connection to get started with the software. So as you can see on my desktop, I have these three icons in the middle. These are the only requirements that you will need other than Windows 10 or anything that's compatible to web development. Windows 10 is probably the most widely used at the moment. And if you're on Apple, yes, you can use your OS system, your OX system, whichever version you're on right now. So you will need Windows 10, you will need Google Chrome. You could use Bing, you could use other types of web browsers, but I prefer Chrome. Most people will prefer Chrome. And then you need some type of editor. Now, I'm a little bit of old school. I use Notepad++, but you could use, I don't know, you could use all kinds of notepads. Even the standard notepad that comes with Windows will work. However, Notepad++ is my preference. And once you have that installed, just Google it and install it, the latest version. You will need to put it in a folder or create a folder that's easy accessible. So I just have this folder called Code Camp. When you open it up, I just have one file called Week 1. Okay, so once you have the requirements, what I want to do now is display a website that was built as a demo. So this website that you're looking at is a fictional website called Travid. It's supposed to be a travel agency type of website, but if you take a look at it, it's full screen, and if you were to look on your phone, it would actually respond to your phone size. So as you can see, if you expand this window, the logo gets bigger, and if you expand all the way, you get the top menu, and you get a bunch of drop-down menus. So this is just a demo. Of course, most people will not need all of these drop-down icons or drop-down links. As you can see, when you scroll up, the nav bar, this is the nav bar at the top, kind of stays there, and I got a nice transparency going on. It's not solid. And what else is unique about this site is the bottom. So the bottom has a nav bar, which right now I only have four icons. These could be icons for joining, these could be icons for reading the news, whatever you want to put down here. You could have 4 icons, you could have 5 icons. So this is the type of site that we want to build through this course, a 5-week course. We could actually build something better within 5 weeks. What makes this site unique? Okay, first of all, it will be a high performance website. Now let's actually go to a high performance website that we recently built. Okay, Pixter.net is active, and you can see there's similarities. We have this top nav button. If we were to reduce to mobile, it would look similar to this with drop down buttons that, when you mouse over, it actually opens up more links. Now, why is this a high performance website? Well, there's multiple things. I'm not going to go into too many details, but it's audited in 5 different categories. Speed, how fast does it load? I'm on a slow connection right now, and this thing, you can see it loaded pretty quick. And you say, okay, well, John, it's only one page. Well, this is not one page, okay? It's multiple pages. You could swipe left and right. Now, this is not required to be high performance to swipe left and right, but this is only one page, and it scrolls left and right, and it goes up and down, and you could say this is equivalent to 15, maybe 15 pages if you were to count all the content on here. So the 5 categories is high performance, Okay, that means using WebP images, not PNG, not JPEG. WebP, that's the latest generation. Text rendering, your text has to render fast, has to be visible, and that's what's called accessibility. So performance accessibility is making it easy for people to access. You can't have icons that are not visible, or text that you can't read or too small. So that's accessibility. Number 3 is SEO. So there's certain specific codes and specific standards you have to put on your page so people could find it through search engine optimization. And number 4 would be best practices. Are you coding clean? Are you making sloppy code? Are you making code so that any colleagues cannot understand it and they won't be able to update it when you're sick or on a vacation? So best practices, is Google going to approve it? Do you have vulnerabilities? So those are all implementations of best practices. So I discussed 4 of them. 1 is performance, 2 is accessibility, 3 is SEO, 4 is best practices, and number 5 is PWA. So this is still a new word to most of the industry. PWA stands for Progressive Web Apps. So Pixter is a progressive web app. So there's a lot of features that make it a progressive web app. For example, you get an icon on your screen. So let's take a look at this. I have an icon on my desktop where I could just click on it and it opens up a nice app-like. However, it's a website. It looks like an app from Windows, but this is a website. So progressive website, I'm probably not going to go over the details in a different tutorial because it could be lengthy. However, there's a lot of cool features other than putting the icon and making it look like an app, and it looks great on your mobile device. But what I want to get into is mobile versus desktop. So if you notice, I'm on desktop. I'm not on mobile right now. Many people are building websites that look great on desktop. They're making it fancy. They're using Flexbox, FlexGrid. They're putting columns over here on the left, and they're putting all these nice box implementations, and it looks great on desktop. However, the reality is most people are using mobile phones these days. I think the number is 70. To browse the web, they are using their mobile devices, especially their phones. Not many people use tablets these days. So why don't you make your website cater to mobile phones? Make the primary design layout more, suitable for mobile phones. And this is what I'm not seeing in the industry. A lot of people are showing their pictures of their desktop design, but most people are going to realize this is what people are going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at one column, which could scroll left and right. However, with us, we could scroll right and left, which makes us a little more unique. And we are probably one of the first people to do this. This is a website, guys. This is not an app. And you're scrolling left and right the full page. This is not commonly seen with a web browser. Okay, so that's mobile versus desktop. And that's the main thing I wanted to mention before we get into web design, is because people are not developing. Not enough developers are developing towards the mobile layout. Okay, so when you consider designing a mobile layout, you have limitations. For example, if you're using Bootstrap or using some kind of tool to make the site look great on desktop, once you narrow it down to a mobile device, that Bootstrap feature or whatever you're using may not be visible. It may help you, don't get me wrong, it may help you, may help improve the site if you're a good designer, but a lot of the features won't look good on mobile. So with this course, we are not going to be using Bootstrap. We're not going to be using Flexbox. We're not going to be using FlexGrid, although those are all popular tools that a lot of people use. We are going to be doing vanilla, meaning plain CSS. And you could achieve a lot of the same functions and appearances with plain CSS with just a little bit of extra code than what Bootstrap or Flexbox or FlexGrid. I mean, you could probably write 2 more lines of extra code and get the same results. The problem is, why is Bootstrap popular is because it just makes life a little bit simpler. But I mentioned this into one of the forums on Facebook. Once you develop a lot of websites, you pretty much made your own Bootstrap, meaning you could cut and paste your elements and use them on another page, cut and paste, modify it a little, use it on another page. So you pretty much make your own libraries. Okay, so since we looked at Pixter, we looked a little bit on Travid, which was this fake site or fictional site, and you notice this actually swipes left and right and up and down as well. So this is the standard that I'm pushing with all my students. Instead of just having the up and down scroll, we are going to develop sites that swipe or scroll horizontally. You will have drop-down buttons. It doesn't have to be all 5 of these buttons, but you will be able to do a nice, cool navigation bar. You will learn how to put a navigation bar on the bottom of your web browser. So these are some of the fundamentals that we're going to be going through for this 5-week course. And be sure to join Pixter.net and join the Globacate channel. So I'm going to put it at the end of this video because that's where you're going to be able to access the code and all these videos, whatnot. Okay, so this ends the introduction to FrontDev101. Please keep watching on. Thanks for watching.